job is only to remove your clothes. Controls your friend group, what you will wear or what you'll eat. I feel like if you're going to be scared of saying your naked truths, it's not there. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our podcast. We are Avril,
Raquel,
and Janine.
and together we are
The Drama Trio.
We want to thank you so much for joining us on episode number 3.
Yes.
We're so happy, and we hope that you've enjoyed a little bit of our videos, if not a lot. But we do want to apologize for the audio on our previous video. We're still working on it, girls and guys, so bear with us. But we hope that today you can hear us more clearly and just enjoy this episode.
Learning curve for sure.
Yes, we're learning, and this has become such a fun hobby for us, and we're glad that you're coming along in this journey with us. Girls, how have you been?
Great.
well, just busy. Aria is participating in the Nutcracker this year, so
Nutcracker?
I am in my
Yay.
dance mom era finally.
Yes,
Yeah.
finally.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What about you, Janine?
Well, I actually stopped breastfeeding, so we're on that note. No mastitis yet, and I think we're really close to finishing it. So
Ooh, that's
we're
awesome.
doing it. We're doing it.
And for us here on this neck of the woods, we have officially restarted our karate classes. We took a small break with the summer being so busy and crazy for our family, but the boys are back. The boys are back in town. So we're excited. We're excited. We kind of wanted to start off the episode as we have been for the previous ones with the game. Janine, explain to us a little bit how the game's going to work.
Yes. So we're gonna play green flag, red flag. Basically, all of our besties, thank you guys for reaching out to us. You guys sent to us a lot of green flags and red flags through the Instagram. Instagram is at the Drama Trio Podcast. Follow us, like our stuff, stay with us. We're gonna go ahead and April's gonna read all of these responses that they gave us, and Raquel and I are gonna choose if for us personally that would be considered a green flag or a red flag, and we're gonna elaborate on it.
And you guys can also play along. Think about it for you. There, do you consider it a red flag or a green flag? Okay.
Leave us in the comments if you guys agree with us or you don't, and why.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to start with a couple of these good ones here. Okay. All right, that he or she respects your boundaries.
Well, that's an easy one.
Green
Of course, you wanna
flag.
be respected, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
Yes.
Boundaries are healthy, and we all need them.
Yes, for every relationship. It
Yes.
doesn't matter. That's something that took me a while to learn, to be honest, because I've always been a yes, yes, yes. But no, boundaries are very important. The next one is controls your friend group, what you will wear or what you'll eat.
well,
I lost my green flag.
that's
You're
a
red.
red for me for sure. I love eating, so no one is gonna tell me what to eat or not.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like dressing as I want and expressing myself. So
Yes.
I think definitely if someone tells you to stop eating, that you're eating too much or you're eating too little, you tell them to go and mind their own business.
yeah, and regarding those clothes, the only thing that they'll be doing is just taking those clothes off.
Yes,
Yes, at
definitely.
least. Yes.
Definitely.
Your partner's job is only to remove your clothes.
Exactly.
Woo, period. Okay, the next one is enjoys watching series with you, planning projects together.
Yeah, a green flag.
This is a mixed flag for me.
Why?
What?
I love watching my series by myself.
Oh, okay,
I love
okay,
it.
okay,
I
okay.
love it.
Okay.
I mean, I can do one or two with him, but then sometimes I just want to keep on going, and he's not home, so then I have to wait for him, and it's just like, I can't. I already want to know what's the next thing happening. So it's both.
But
It's orange.
there are shows though where like you cannot watch it without your partner. I feel
That's true.
so it's like but I understand like you're waiting for the next episode and you just can't wait because
Yeah.
that person's not there. So I get it. I get it.
it.
Okay, the next one says being overprotective.
I think it depends. I love being protected, so it's also
A mix.
A
a
mix?
mix. It
Well-
depends if it's too much If it's too
I think if it's falling into the controlling
Yeah.
perspective, I wouldn't like that.
yeah, if it's
So-
toxic, we don't like
No,
toxic.
no,
Yeah.
no, no, no.
But if it's like out of love and he's just making sure that you're okay,
Or just checking
go
on
for
you,
it. Check
how
on
your
me
day
all day,
was.
papacito.
Yes, yes, yes. I love it. Protection 101.
But yeah, controlling
love
your
it.
movements, no.
Yeah,
no.
No. But to protect, yes. I love that. So
Just don't be
that's a good thing.
toxic. No toxic.
Okay, the next one says having to ask for permission.
Permission for what?
Heck no, you're not my daddy.
Oh my What do you think, Raquel?
I think it's about communication. Communicating the plans, what you're gonna be doing, where
Yes.
you're gonna be going.
Yes.
But permission, I don't know.
I don't think it's permission. Like I said, I think I've said this before. I think it's respecting. We're talking about boundaries, right? And respecting each other's time. A lot of times when I do things on my own or when my husband does his own thing, it's really like we're swapping. We're swapping, right? Who's watching the kids? Who's doing that? So respecting each other's time. Or in my case, sometimes I freak out. Hey, just in case, I'm here for if anything happens. Again, the protecting, right? I'm here. This is where I'm at. This is the last place you heard of me. Too many shows, too many crime shows that we've watched that, we
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
communicate where we're at. So that's what I think about
I
that
agree.
one.
Yeah.
Completely.
Okay. And then let's see. Should we do a couple more?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
do it. I'm loving this.
All right. Eye contact when talking to you.
Well, yeah.
Eye contact.
Eye contact. I don't know. I know. Look at me. Look at me. No. I think it's more like, okay, let's put a scenario out there. When you're out on a date and you're having your, one-on-one time, you're sitting at a dinner place or at a brunch, and then you're talking about your day or you're talking about your week, because sometimes that's what you got to do. Are you seeing each other or are you not seeing each other?
Well, definitely no phones.
Yeah.
Definitely no phones if you guys are in that scenario, or even if you're just talking, everyone needs to be off their phone. But for me, for example, I need to be doing something to be actually paying attention. So I need to either be eating, I need to be scribbling, I need to be washing dishes, but I'm fully paying attention. So I think it depends.
No, I need attention on me.
Yes.
As it happens. So.
Yeah, both me and my husband, or my husband and I, we love attention. And so I think learning to give each other, it's your turn to talk, and then it's my turn to talk. That's been a thing, but we are learning, especially because of our busy schedules. Like we try to look at each other and talk, because one thing for me is the phone. I hate it. But then I'm the one also on the phone, right? Like I'm like, oh crap,
Yeah.
someone's missed,
Yeah.
Instagram notification, So I'm learning. That was one of my goals this year, is to be better at not being on my phone. So
Be present on the
Yeah,
conversation.
be more present.
Yeah,
Okay.
no,
Stay
definitely.
connected.
yeah.
Totally girly.
Totally.
Totally.
Okay. And the last one I'm going to share is genuine interest in your own dreams, hopes, and fears.
Yes.
Green flag.
Total green flag.
Yes.
For him to want to impulse you to be the best you is the best turn on, I feel like. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
I think for me, it's very important because us girls, we love to do a million things, right? I mean, how many people do we know that have multi-talents? Like they know how to sew, they know how to, I don't know. We know so many people that do so many things at the same time. And I think it's really nice too to support our spouses. Like even guys, men need that time to do their thing, and I've noticed it, especially like in my relationship. My husband loves to work out. That's his thing. I personally don't love the machine, or I don't love lifting weights, but I support him. Okay, go do it. Because I do also notice he's in a better mood because he's doing his thing, and I'm doing my thing. Right now we're doing this podcast adventure, and I feel like we've received so much support. So shout out to you guys. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We love you. But seriously, I think it's important that both in your relationship are doing you, boo.
No, definitely. I feel like also I love how she emphasized, or this person emphasized on the question, on the response, saying your own dreams, hopes, and fears.
Yes.
because that way they're there to protect us. We're there to protect each other, you know? So you know the boundaries again, you know what not to push it because that's the fear. You know what to push because that's her dream or his dream. So yes, definitely green flag.
Green flag all the way.
Okay.
And that was a little bit of our game. And we're talking about relationships, because our whole podcast started with the idea of not healthy relationships. Like, what is that? Especially because we went to watch the movie, right? We
Yeah.
watched It Ends With Us. And guys, I had to go watch it again for the second time. And the first time we watched it was us three. We did our girls' night out. We invited the group chat. Hey guys, who wants to go? Obviously, I'm looking at all of the advertisement for the movie on Blake's side, and I'm seeing like the flowers and all these beautiful things. I'm like, yes, this is gonna be a great chick flick.
Yes.
And then what happens? We obviously were like, okay, let's dress up in our floral. So we all did our thing, with floral and everything. And we show up to the movie and we come out completely different. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, it was definitely a movie that I personally didn't even know what we were gonna go do, but I was just down to go, and it was amazing.
Janine being Janine.
Yes,
honestly,
yes, let's go. Yes,
if you know, you know. But so it's a really cool movie where Blake Lively is representing this girl that loves florals. Her name is Lily Blossom Bloom.
Yes.
Right? So all these flowers all around. And it's this perfect girl, gorgeous hair, perfect outfit. It's such a thing, you know? And what it ends up being is that she grew up in an unhealthy environment. Her parents would get in a lot of fights. The dad was very abusive, and things that she thought she was running away from.
If you haven't watched the movie, sorry, we're gonna have some spoilers here, okay?
Yes, definitely spoilers.
Yeah.
Alert.
Spoiler alert. Long story short, she falls in love with this perfect guy, perfect body. Yes, Justin
Perfect
Baldoni.
face.
That's
Perfect.
right. We're talking about
Perfect
you.
brain.
And she falls in love with him without knowing, of course, all the background and all the trauma that he is also enduring at the time.
Or carrying with him, right? Because this is a grown man and she's a grown woman. And then we obviously learn both of them are carrying baggage emotionally, I guess you could say. But for me, it was interesting because after we watched the movie, before we watched the movie, we're seeing all of the advertisement from her side and then his perspective and what he's trying to share off of the movie. So I was like, man, I have to now go back and watch this, because now I'm seeing it as let me understand what they're talking about behind the scenes, all the drama that's going on between the whole cast, between Justin Baldoni. He was the director, but I know that Blake had a lot to do with production. I mean, her clothing, everything was donated, right? It was all hers and then some friends of hers. But we were like in awe, like every time a shoe came out, or her looks, oh my gosh,
Well,
the glitter
if we-
boots. Yes.
If we based it off of what we saw, good thing is that I hadn't seen anything, so I went in blinded to what I saw, and it was an amazing movie, 10 out of 10.
Yes.
It was this perfect romantic way that you would picture finding the love of your life out of nowhere, and he's so hot and perfect and rich, and you are so independent and have your own business
going
and
on for you.
You
Yeah.
know, you have this whole own personality. It's just perfect. It really seems like it's perfect until it's not. And until you start thinking to yourself, or in this case, Lily Blossom Bloom was just like, oh, he's not going to do that again. And he's not going to do that again, until he kept on doing it. And she was the one that at the end had to break the cycles. So it definitely was a major plot twist for someone like me, that I thought I was just going to go and see a chick flick with my girlies. It ended up being this whole other type of situation, but it was honestly, I thought that they delivered the message perfectly.
Yes.
It was, you really can get lost in a relationship. It doesn't matter how independent you think you are, and it doesn't matter how successful you are. You can still be that person that probably is not taking care of your mental health as you should, and with all the trauma that you've had to go through. Like him, he was a doctor, and yet he didn't treat himself.
Yes, and I mean, this comes from a book, right? Um, and I know Raquel had to read it because she's our bookworm. So Raquel, tell us about the book versus watching that, and then like reading the book and watching the movie. But I know that you watched the movie first, right? And
Yeah.
then she's like, "No, I gotta read the book." So
Well,
what'd you do?
I fell in love with the movie because it was so well put together. Like the characters were very well portrayed. We see Lily, we see Ryle, perfect body, perfect like
Yes.
career,
Mhm.
and then we
Everything.
see Lily, this ambitious woman wanting to overcome all this trauma that she experienced when she was growing up.
Yes.
In the book, we also see those characters, but we also get to see more details about what caused that trauma for Ryle, and then understand a little bit more about Lily, how she felt guilt, depression, she felt sorrow, like she felt hopeless knowing that her mom was going through all that stuff,
Yeah.
right? Something that I like, well, I don't know, it kind of shook me when I read it, is that Lily says that she was looking for those fights. Like she was really wanting to see a glimpse of what her dad could be. Like because she knew her father was going to be a good dad the next day to compensate that behavior.
Yes.
So that like was kind of like a shock for me
That
because we
wasn't in
didn't
the movie.
see that on
That
the
wasn't in the movie. Yeah.
And for me, Lily in the movie, she is more powerful. In the book, we see her like vulnerable, fragile, like a little less
Nice.
like
Strong.
strong,
Yeah.
maybe. In the book, we also see how her mother, after the father's passing, she overcomes everything and she becomes another person. She starts to shine. She meets someone else. Like she tells Lily to break the cycle. And she couldn't do that because she didn't have the resources. She didn't know how to do it. She was
Yeah.
like scared.
And that happens a lot, right? In real life,
Yeah.
I feel like it was great that it was PG-13
Yeah.
because this is good. I mean, who doesn't remember their first love, you know?
Yeah.
It's good to know like what is a healthy relationship? What's a toxic relationship? Am I obsessed?
Right. And-
Which we could feel all those things in a relationship and think that it's okay. And really it's not. I mean, you're as a young, because I know that they go through her being young, right? And then later as an adult, like what you think could be your love later on, you're like, okay, well, that was, I don't know, because at the end of the day, we don't even know in the movie, like, does she love him still or not? You know, that's something you might want to
Yeah, well, I
answer when
think
you watch
Lily
it.
in the book, she was wanting to break the pattern because, of course, she knew what was going on, but she
Yeah.
was so scared of telling her mom, her friends, like, "Hey, my husband is doing this to me. I'm
Yes.
being abused.
Yeah.
Not only
Yeah.
once, not only twice."
Yeah.
So
I feel like that's very relatable from where since she was younger, she was waiting for it to happen so that she could get the best version of her dad. I feel like that even happens. It doesn't have to be with the parent, but it can be with your couple,
Yeah.
your partner.
Your spouse. or
Sometimes your partner will be the best partner he can after he did something messed up to you, you know? And that's when people think like, oh, probably that was the last time, or probably he won't do it again and he's changing or he's trying, and you fall back into the cycle
I
again.
think you want to cling on to the good things versus all the bad
and that
things.
is something that she actually
right?
does. She's like trying to keep the romance alive. She's trying to say, "Oh, I'm still like in love with him."
Yes.
Like,
Well, I feel like sometimes
This-
people just love so hard that they think that they might be the ones that will be able to change that
Yeah.
person
Or to fix them.
or to fix
Yeah.
them, and sometimes you just end up being the person of the process and
Yeah.
not even the person that actually saw when the person actually wanted to change, because they won't change unless
yeah,
they
and
want
she even
to.
questions herself, like, "Is it me? Am I the problem in this relationship?
And I feel like that's
Am
very
I overreacting?"
common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think for us, when we're outside the relationship, we see the pattern, we see
Yeah.
the abuse, like all this behavior, and of course, we want to tell the people, "Hey,
Get out.
Get out.
Leave.
Yeah.
they
Yes.
don't know. They're not ready. They're not ready to talk. They're not ready to leave.
Because
Yeah.
They're not ready to recognize it."
Yeah. And I think like this could also happen not only just women but men, right?
Mhm.
Because she also was going through a lot. I mean, there's a scene where we're all like, "Oh my gosh, why didn't you tell him? Why didn't you tell him?"
Mhm.
Like, don't hold back to be genuine and honest. And I feel like
Okay.
when you can't have that honesty or that conversation of like best friends with your partner, that's red flag number one, right?
Definitely. Yep.
I think one of the things, yeah, red flag.
Red
I think
flag.
one of the things you do have to have communication, especially when you're making a relationship serious.
Yes.
And that's where transparency needs to come in.
And sorry to
No,
interrupt,
you're
girls.
good. You're good. You're
I
good.
just remember something. They do have a game that's called Naked Truth. In the book. I don't remember seeing it in the movie, but they do have a game where they tell each other like their naked truths about anything.
Is that Ryle and
yeah, Ryle and Lily.
Ooh.
So in that like a discussion, they do have like those questions like happening, and she's like thinking, should I tell him? Should I not?
I feel like if you're gonna be scared of saying your naked truths, it's not there.
Yeah,
you're not in the
you
right
have
place.
to be comfortable.
Yes.
And I think all things aside, like, okay, you talk about your truths because now, like I said, if you're planning to be in a serious relationship where this is leading to possible marriage, you don't want those things to drag on into your marriage. So you want to be,
clean.
come clean with each other. You're going to be together forever. Oh,
Well,
well.
that's the plan.
That's the plan. But I think be transparent and
be yourself.
Yes.
Be able to be you.
Yes.
And there is a
100%.
saying in Spanish that says, "Lo que no fue en tu año, que no te haga daño." So honestly, translating that is like whatever didn't happen while you guys are in the relationship, then you shouldn't even worry about it. And that really should just be like Bible, if it didn't happen while you guys were in a relationship, you shouldn't even care about it.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And that's how you love that person. Like, this is a person with all of that, or you don't, and move on. But you don't have to try to change or act like it's not the person you're with, because then you're not with the right person.
Yeah, 100%. I think that just to summarize everything that we talked about today, go and watch the movie if you haven't watched the movie. Read the book. I am now curious myself to read it. I haven't had time. I bought it, but I haven't had the time. So if you guys are still thinking, should I go watch it or not, do it. I also want to share that there are resources out there if you need help. And always, I think as women, let's not conclude to the question of like, why is she still there? I think that's a very bad thing to do because we don't know. Like, every relationship is different. One of the things that I did, because now seeing it with my husband and seeing it like with my partner, the question was, I have boys, right? Janine, you have 4 boys. You have a boy, you have a girl. So you have both of the, like, you want the best for those relationships, right? And I was like, does this movie show the message of redemption? Does it truly show like both sides of like how he also tries to get better or how she tries to like move on, Like, I think there's a lot in the story that leaves it to the imagination. But I would hope that he's also seeking for help after, because that's kind of what he alludes to, that he knows he needs help.
Yeah.
And so I think ultimately, hopefully, sometimes it is easy to say, yeah, I can get help, and sometimes it's not. And so, point is, you're not the person. You don't have to be stuck in a situation where you feel like you have to fix him or fix her to make your relationship better. But what are red flags and green flags, like our game before, it could be blurred. It could be a green flag for her, a red flag for her, in between for me, right? We don't know because all of our relationships are different, I feel.
I think we can't stop or we can't end this episode without talking about Atlas.
Yes.
Well, what do you think about him?
I think it's amazing. I think if we take out the romantic part of Atlas, we should be an Atlas for everyone.
Yes.
Everyone. He was not looking for, of course, he probably still had feelings or whatever, but he was looking to be there for her regardless.
Yes.
Whether she was in the relationship with him or not, whether she was ready for a different relationship or not, he was just there. And I feel like we should all strive to be a girl's girl, a boy's boy,
Yes.
a girl's boy girls boys,
And support each other.
just support each other and be ready. We are not the ones to say when people are ready to get out of those relationships. We're not the ones to say like, well, if you should have gotten out before this, shala wouldn't have happened. But at least be those type of people where if they felt like they were ready, they could come to us.
Yes.
I feel like that should be
that emotional support.
Yes, be that emotional support for your people close by. If any one of our besties are going through something like this and they need someone, we are here. We're not professionals once again, but we are really good listeners, and we can help in what we can.
Yes. Yeah. We hope you've enjoyed this episode. We have really enjoyed it ourselves. It was so good. And I want to say thank you to the book. Thank you to the movie that made us have so much to talk about, because we literally talked about this for like what, 2 hours?
We've been talking about it since then.
Yes.
So probably like
weeks.
since the movie came out.
3 weeks.
And I think the good thing is that although we love the drama, we did not let the drama divert our attention to what the movie's purpose was. Because if you went into Instagram, we all saw Blake Lively was all about her hair, her style, her this, her that. That honestly, I kind of didn't really like. Blake Lively, you're gorgeous, but this was not the moment. We already know everything about you right now. We just needed to focus on what the movie was focusing. And then on the other side, Justin Baldoni was all about woman power, advocating for DV victims.
Yes.
Everything that the movie was trying to convey. Honestly,
100%.
Yes. So if you guys haven't seen the movie, go watch the movie first. Go read the book first. Then go into the Instagram and get all the chismecito, because it's really good too.
Yes.
But just know that this movie was. I think Colleen was amazing at writing about this. I just want to
applaud Colleen because she did a great job in conveying this marvelous, brave, and bold story. And I know she's inspired by her own story. Okay. So I admire her.
Yes.
This is not easy to talk about.
So no, it really is not.
There's so many good moments, so many good quotes.
Yeah.
A lot of times you can feel it in the air as we were watching the movie with the quotes.
And you're gonna fall in love with the book even more.
Yes, where you're just like,
And anyone, honestly, it doesn't matter if you're a girl, a boy, and él, ella, ellex, anyone. They, she, whatever. You guys need to watch this movie. Yeah. It's amazing. And I feel like for us that we're parents, we need to keep an eye even bigger of how we're raising our children, how we can help them de-stress and take out whatever emotion they're having that is not in a wrong way. I feel like we have a very big responsibility to get all of these new generations in an emotional, stable, mental health place, because they're going to encounter all these type of relationships, and you never know when the other person's going to be more emotional or when this one's going to be, you just never know, and we have to prepare them to be ready to not be violent.
We're breaking the cycle here.
The cycle since we're raising them.
Yes. So thank you so much for joining us today. I know it was a little bit of a different vibe.
I think it was our perspective on the movie, the topic, and everything. So
it's a real topic, so it's not a taboo. We can't keep it hiding. It's a real topic, and that's what motherhood is. We literally are going to go through it all. We're going through it all, and we're learning as we go.
Yeah. So again, thank you for joining us, and we hope that you join us for our 4th episode.
It's going to be real good, besties.
Yes. Well, remember to give us a like, subscribe, and leave us a comment here.
Yes.
And if you want to dress up with us for next episode, Monday at 5 p.m., come watch us with your pajamas.
Yes.
Let's have a slumber party.